Salman, let me start with you. You've heard what the Prime Minister has just said. We'll come to the Rajasthan bit in just a bit. But in the context of what's happening in Parliament by a united opposition, the Prime Minister had some choice things to say. He said that the India alliance was like a fraud company that thinks renaming itself is going to wash away its sins. He talked about dynasty. He talked about the usual things that he has in the past as well. But this one is being seen as a milestone speech. It was in Rajasthan as well. Your first comment, Salman.
He should be making the speech in Manipur. Why is he in Rajasthan? Why was he in Karnataka when the election was happening, when Manipur started burning? And why did he do all the trips that he did all this time, in almost 3 months, and he has not been to Manipur? In fact, he did not utter the word Manipur for almost 75 days. When a state was effectively divided in two, when 6,000 arms were looted, imagine, you know this business well. If something like that had happened in Kashmir, 6,000 arms being looted, what would happen? Women and children being murdered, elderly being murdered, women being raped and gang raped. Do you think that the Prime Minister did not know about these incidents all this time? If he did not know, then he should not be Prime Minister. But he knew, and he kept quiet. A Prime Minister of this country should be the leader that everybody looks up to, who has enough persuasive power to go into the middle of a raging state and say, please, do not do this. We're all together. We're all Indian. We must not fight each other. But he said nothing. Now he's in Rajasthan talking about, law and order. You have a state that is divided in two. And you're talking about law and order? You're talking about atrocities against Dalits. Meanwhile, state after state, most are ruled by the BJP. You have atrocities against Dalits, against minorities. You don't say anything there. What kind of your oath to office is for all Indians, for all states. And what do? You play politics selectively. Now, he may say all this. He can fight against the India alliance and he can badmouth us. You want to abuse us? Please, Mr. Prime Minister, abuse Salman Soz, abuse Rahul Gandhi, abuse Mallikarjun Kharge, abuse everybody, but help the people of Manipur. Be answerable to the people of India in Parliament, because that's where you should be.
Okay,
and you are failing in your job,
Charu, respond to that. Respond to what Salman says, that this should be about Manipur. You know, why isn't the Prime Minister saying all this, even if, he's in Rajasthan right now, fair enough, but why isn't he doing this in Manipur? The opposition clearly isn't going to budge from that. This needs to be about Manipur. Respond, Charu.
Shiv, thank you for reminding Salman that the Prime Minister was speaking in Rajasthan to people who live in Rajasthan. And as for Manipur, our Honorable Prime Minister has already spoken. Maybe Salman was not being alert enough to listen to that. But apart from our Honorable Prime Minister, our Defence Minister and our Home Minister have said that they want to have a discussion on Manipur in Parliament. However, the opposition is determined to disrupt that. I can get into greater details, but that's not the topic of your debate today. The topic of the debate today is the situation in Rajasthan, which has been critical because this is as much current events as the events that are unfolding in Manipur. It is as much currently relevant that a minister in Rajasthan has been sacked when he raised the dismal state of women in that state. He's been sacked, has taken away from him because he said the situation of women in Rajasthan is not good and we need to do some self-introspection. Salman probably might not know this, but let me tell him that NCRB data says that out of all the crime against women in this country, and each and every crime is horrendous as far as I'm concerned, and I'm calling a spade, but out of all the crimes against women in India, out of 28 of our states, 22% of them happen in Rajasthan alone. 22%. That's nearly 1/4 of the crimes that happen against women in India happen in Rajasthan. And do you know what happens after these crimes are committed? Another minister comes on record and says very proudly, "Ye to Purusho ka Pradesh hai," which means This is a state of men. I am sorry, you are insulting both the state and the men. This is not the kind of a statement that's expected from someone who considers himself to a public leader. But has there been any discussion or a backlash or a retraction or an apology on that? None at all. Has there been any response to that kind of a statement from the senior most Congress leadership, whether it is Mr. Gandhi or Mrs. Vadra? Absolutely none.
Okay, but Charu,
Salman right now see it fit to address that issue.
The situation in Rajasthan is...
Give me 10 more seconds. Very quickly,
yes,
10 seconds. Because, the women's issue angers me. And I am as angry about Rajasthan as I am about Manipur. I am not looking at the geography of a woman before deciding how much outrage I need to be showing. I am equally concerned about every single daughter of this country. But that's not the case from any Rajasthan leader or any Congress leader for that matter. The Lal Diary is supposed to be carrying records of all the misdeeds of the Congress leaders. If that Lal Diary was produced in your assembly...
But the thing is, it can be, I don't think it can be anybody's case that the situation or the things happening in Rajasthan are not serious and deserve attention. But surely it would be reasonable not to compare the two, given that what's happening in Manipur is an emergency situation. Nearly 200 people or more have died, in a span of a short period of time. I'm not saying that Rajasthan should be ignored, but I am saying I'm just wondering that the opposition is accusing you, the BJP and the Modi government, Charu, of using Rajasthan as a diversion away from Manipur. That is the allegation against you. You're saying that, we have spoken about Manipur, prepared for a debate, but the allegation against you is that you're running away from Manipur by focusing on Rajasthan.
Shiv, I might even buy that if it was not the Congress MLA who spoke out in assembly against the government, and it was not the Congress government which dismissed that MLA from his position of being a minister in that particular government. What did BJP have to do with it? Please remind me. And if incidents like this happen, if the tallest leaders of our country proudly say ye Purushon ka pradesh hai, isliye hum log rape mein number 1 hai, I'm sorry. Now this is something which needs to be addressed, and this is not BJP's doing.